Hey YouTube, what's up? General Tony here. So today we're in a live raid right now and I'm going to show you the correct way, or what I perceive to be as the correct way to use witches and wizards. So I've just unlocked witches inside of the clan castle. I have used them before on my brother's account, so this isn't the first time using them. Now what you'll find is a lot of people will deploy their witches and their wizards at the front of the line, and they'll deploy them like in a group, like all together. That is literally the worst thing you could possibly do. In my opinion, the way you deploy witches and wizards is as follows. So you drop down your troops, which you're willing to expend first, which are the barbarians, then go in with some archers, and then drop your wizards but in a line, not all together, and then maybe one witch on each side right at the back of the pack. Then drop your king and your queen, and you'll find that this is the best way to not only 3-star a base, but also have so many troops left at the end. Obviously, you can't take them back to camp, so that doesn't really matter. But having more troops last longer is what's going to win you the war, really, to be honest, in 3 stars. This is a very optimal way to use wizards and witches, especially for clan wars. I mean, look, you can see that both witches are still alive. Obviously, we're not that far into the raid yet. Both witches have gone into the base. They're spawning their little Larrys up. The wizards are managing to do their work. We're going to rage up the king just out of boredom. We're going to deploy some archers right here down the bottom. Just clean up some of these buildings. We're going to rage up the queen. Not rage her up, sorry. Use her special cloak ability. So in she goes. I mean, this isn't the hardest base in the world, but I wouldn't say it's the easiest for my troops, to be honest. Level 1 witches. We got the king and the queen. Obviously, if I really wanted to, I wouldn't use wizards and witches against a base like this. I'd probably use... To be honest, I think I could 3-star this base with barbarians and archers if I really wanted to. But we're going through the base anyway. You can see that the witch there is alive. I think the other one has passed away. But the wizards are all down now as well. We've pretty much made our way through the base. We've collected most of the loot, to be honest. And that's pretty much the raid over. We got a couple of Larrys left. So that's one way to deploy your wizards and witches. Now we're going to test deploying them all in one group. Obviously we've got no spells that have actually been used here, so we didn't use any spells. So we're going to go ahead and end it there. We managed to get 100k gold, 90k elixir, and 300 dark elixir. So we're going to make another army, maybe a couple more witches, or maybe a few more wizards. We'll see what happens, and we'll be back with the next live raid. Alright guys, so we are back and we've trained up a completely different army. This time we got wizards, giants, we got wall breakers coming this time. Wall breakers are pretty vital, I forgot them in the first raid. We got the 2 standard witches, the archers, and that's pretty much it. No barbarians this time. I don't know if the king and queen won't be coming along, and we're not going to be using any spells or any clan castles. So we're just going to be testing out the wizards and the witches, and I'm going to see what happens if I deploy them all in roughly the same area, just to see what happens. I'm not going after loot, guys, and I don't really care if I don't win the raid. So let's go ahead and find a live match and see what happens. So here we go. We landed on one straight away. I'm happy to go with this. I don't really mind. I'm not going for the loot. So I'm going to attack the side with the most mortars. So we're going to start from the top. I'm going to begin just by sending in some archers. Not too many. Just hopefully pick off some of those buildings. And just send the giants into 2 bunches. We're going to break the walls before we actually deploy the wizards. Wizards are going to go in now. Oh my god, I completely forgot to deploy them in the same area. Anyway, witches have gone into the same area. So let's deploy the last 2 wall breakers. Just try and break through those walls there. Wizards and witches are going in. Giants have gone inside. Okay, so we've broken through into the center of the base. Now, remember before, we managed to get about 70% by spreading the wizards and the witches out. So they're pretty much doing the same kind of thing here. They're breaking up into little separate groups now. The witches are still alive. I don't really think witches are worth using in this game, to be honest. I'd rather have 4 or 5 wizards instead of a witch. I think they take up 14 spaces, which is quite a lot, to be honest, for what they do. Yeah, they do spawn Larrys up and all that. They don't have many hit points, though. I mean, that one's going down right now. She's just gone. The wizards, as I said, haven't really managed to do much inside of here. So we did spawn them into roughly the same area this time, and they didn't even manage to get the 50%. Obviously, they got the 1-star. We didn't have heroes this time, so if we had heroes, we probably would have got more. But I feel using the troops in more spaced out areas, especially wizards and witches, it is much more optimal for you to win the game if you do that. So we're going to go ahead and end this live raid. And the next one we're going to do is going to be a max wizard, max witch, and just wall breaker raid. So that's going to be very fun. Stay tuned for that, guys, coming right up. Yeah, so we are back and we have another army trained up. We've got a lot more wizards this time. We've chucked in some barbarians, some archers, a couple of witches, some wall breakers, and I think that's about it. King and queen are still down, so let's go ahead and we're going to look for something with a bit of loot this time, just so we can hopefully get some money back for the amount that we've spent on the troops themselves. Alright, here we go, guys. We've landed on this and it's got 143,000 gold. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It's not really a hard base either. We've got 10 wall breakers this time and 24 wizards. So this shouldn't be too hard. I will expect the 3 stars here, but I'm not too sure. There are quite a lot of walls inside of the base. We're just going to decide which side to attack from. I think I'm going to attack from the bottom right area, just over here, just so I can take the king out straight away. And I'm going to go ahead and test for a clan castle as well. Where's clan castle? There we go. Okay, there's nothing in the clan castle. Let's just take out his king as soon as possible. Just send in a wizard there. Go on, zap him. Zap him. Yeah, one more zap. There we go. King is down, and let's start with the barbarians. It's so hard to attack from this angle because I'm left-handed, so it's weirder. Alright, so we're going to send in them. We're going to drop in some of the wizards as well. Not all of them, most of them though, just to clean up as much as possible. And then we're going to drop the 2 witches right at the back. We've still got some more wizards. We're going to attack from different angles here, just to change it up a little bit. Hopefully those wall breakers actually reach the base. We've got 2 more here going right into the center there. And we're going to drop the rest of the wizards just around the outside of the base, just so they can clean up a bit. There we go. So they've pretty much made it into the, not center of the base, but they've made it inside a little bit. There's kind of too many of them spacing up here. Maybe we're going to use a rage spell just here. May as well just go with a rage spell. Just try and get them going into the center of the base more. See what happens. I'm going for the loot, so I don't really care about the 3-star. We are definitely going to get the 2-star here, I feel, though. There's one more gold storage there at the top, which we haven't managed to get anywhere near. We didn't even manage to collect the 2 stars. So what do you know? I feel using wizards and witches, if you don't have something like large, like maybe even a P.E.K.K.A, a golem, anything around the king, golem, P.E.K.K.A, if you don't have something like that with wizards, they're really not worth using. They are good troops, and they probably are one of the best foot troops you can have in this game, but they need something to protect them, and I don't feel that it's good to bring mass amount of numbers of them, because they're just like archers at the end of the day. They're going to get really badly affected by splash damage. Same with witches, they're really quite weak. You only really want 1 or 2 of them. So I think the best army to use with wizards and witches is probably a go wipe and maybe the go wee wee or whatever you want to use. But I would suggest using the P.E.K.K.As, the golems, the witches and the wizards all together. And of course, don't forget your wall breakers. They're very important. Bring a couple of rage spells and maybe 1 or 2 heal spells. It depends on your own personal preference at the end of the day as well. As ever, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped out a little bit. Obviously, I was kind of testing it out for myself as well. If you did enjoy the content, guys, make sure to hit that like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos. Every single day I produce something unique and original. Have a lovely day, guys. Thank you so much for watching.